Welcome everyone, John here. Hope you're all having a great day. Today I'm putting together a picture frame like this using some red and blue. I want to let you check this out here. This is amateur hour again. Just so you know, I picked this up off the internet, or off YouTube actually. So let's put this off the side and get started. I'll show you what I got going on. Alright, so it's been a few years since I've messed with the stained glass. Yesterday I got set up and nothing was going right, so I went ahead and refamiliarized myself with everything and started cutting some pieces. And let me show you what I've done. This is the blue we got going on. This is the red. You can see through it pretty good. And then I got two pieces of regular glass for the actual picture frame. Sorry about that. Now I've already cut these pieces. Let me tell you something. It's not easy cutting this stuff. Alright. I've got a few methods I'm using, and let me show you how I'm doing it. So, let's set these off the side. As you can see, I got some painter's tape on there. Masking tape. Okay. And what I did with these other pieces, I just basically use this. And then I use this for the top. Just like so. Well, what I do here is I can use the straight edge on this one now to mark it, which all I'm going to do is lay it flat. And I'll show you this way. I'm going to use one of my painting boards here so I can keep these pieces in place here. Just like so. I want to tell you this now. This stuff's sharp. If you're worried about cutting yourself, you better have some glasses. Or some gloves. I'm sorry, glasses. Well, you're going to need glasses when you're cutting stuff too. Let me go ahead and wipe this edge off so I can get a nice clean piece on there. Piece of tape. And you'll see what I do here. I'm going to lay a piece of tape in there and then run my glass cutter right down the edge of it. And I'm going to swing my magnifier over here just so I can make sure I'm good all the way down the edge. Yeah. Pretty good. What I don't get, I'll use my grinder. And we'll be going over to the grinder here in a minute. Let me go ahead and move this piece totally out of the way. We don't want to break it. I'm actually going to be using my painter assistant here to run this edge. And I have a fancy cutter, but I'm just using the old normal cheapie. Okay. Go ahead and line this up. Line this up, and you're going to set it just off the side to where your ball or your cutter actually runs right down the edge. Nice and smooth. And you check it. Check it all the way. And then bring it down. I'm not sure that worked. but we'll see. Doesn't look like I caught it right through here, so let's... It's not always not a good thing to go back through and rescore it. Now, what I'm using to break it is a wooden dowel. This is actually an old paintbrush stick. And that's it. I can't believe I did that. I cut it on the wrong side, guys. I can't believe I did that. That's all right. I'll have a long pain for another one. Let's set that off the side. I can't believe I did that. Mistakes were made. See, I told you it was amateur hour. And that's what happens. Good golly. Can't use that. That ain't very straight. I need to bring my regular straight edge up here. Or out down here. Yeah. I get that right, huh? Alright, so let's lay this up here. I can't believe I did that. Alright. And you seen, I just snapped that with my hand. Alright, I got my piece. Look at that. Nice long skinny piece. We'll have to set that outside, make sure it don't break. I can use that for something else. Oh, what am I saying? I'm going to need a thing for the foot. I'm sorry. Keep moving this around. Alright, so another warning, you're going to have shards of glass everywhere. Make sure you shake all your tools off. Boy, I got some dry hands and need some lotion here. Alright. Let's put the stick back. Let's move everything out of the way. You know what? Give me a second. I'll be right back. Let me shake this off. Alright, I got all my pieces up here. As you can see, I've already done some work on these. I'm going to go ahead and peel this tape off here. Now these pieces are pretty close to being perfect. They're not. As a matter of fact, they've already been set up with this one right here to a point where they've all been done perfect. Let me show you here. So yeah, that's what it's going to look like. Now I got to sand these edges off. I also have to cut off these ends down here. But that will not happen until after I've got this middle piece soldered together. So I have to put a piece of tape, my foil, from here to here, right? And then I wrap the whole thing. And then I wrap these whole things. So we won't be able to cut these until after this is put together. So let's set these off the side. And I'm going to go ahead and start prepping these out. Now what I have here is a palm sander. I'm going to put some sandpaper on it. And I'm going to show you what I do. I'll be right back. So at this point, we're going to sand all these edges. All right, I'm not going to make you watch me do all of it, but you can see that they're not all square and straight, but that's what I'm shooting for. Now this has been ground down with the grinder, and you can see that. So yeah, let me sand these down and I'll be back. Alright, so this is what we're looking for here. As you can see, those shinier spots are not level yet. So I'm going to continue to do this. And again, like I said, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I'm wearing a mask too, so I'm not breathing in the fumes here. Or the dust, I should say. Just about there. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to get all of that. Go ahead and do that. I'll come back to that edge. Drops off a good millimeter. And you can see that. Alright, I'm not going to so much worry about that. It feels smooth. Let me try that edge again. Whew. Okay, so you see what I got to go through. I'll be back. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and use some thinner. Some isopropyl alcohol to clean this off. I want to get off any kind of resin or anything on the edges, around the edges, that can hamper my soldering. So let me do that and I'll be back. So I have an issue with the two picture frame pieces that hold the picture in place. One is a little bit longer than the other, and it's off just a little bit. So I'm going to show you how I take care of that. Okay. Basically going to take it off there, and I'm going to lay a piece of tape down. Right? Just long enough for the piece to be on there. Okay. We'll lay this up on top of it. And what can I use as a blocker? Normally I just use my board. Go ahead and do that. It's a little long. What can I use? We'll just go ahead. Okay, so as you can see that, let me zoom in here. Right? You can see that. Both pieces are up tight. I'll grab my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to bring this right down the edge. Okay. Let's set that off the side. Go ahead and rip this off here. All right. Now, we're going to take it over to the grinder and take that off there. Let's go. All right, let's do this. Gotta plug it in. All right. Now, this is a water grinder. It will throw pieces up in the air. But the dust factor isn't there. And as you can see, it works pretty quick. And there you go. Right like that. All right, let's go back over there. All right. We're going to have to put some foil on these edges, and this is what I'm using right here. All right. What I'm going to do, and I'm also using this to hold it in place. I don't have a board for this just yet, but I think we can use this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this gold foil, and I'm going to cut a nice edge on there. Which I already put my X-Acto knife up, which I shouldn't have done. Wow. X-Acto knife is acting like it needs a sharpening, which I can do. You ever sharpened your blade? It's not hard. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this off here. I'm going to need a blade to do it. Let's go ahead and zoom in. How's that sound? So you can see what I'm dealing with here. You guys can see it better than I can. All right, so I started peeling it, right? I'm just going to go ahead and run it past the edge and then cut it back. So I am going to just set this down here. I'll hold it in place with my... I need to get my board back up here. I'm going to set it down here just about where I think I'm going to need it, right? Well, it's supposed to stick to it. We'll just go ahead and stick it on there. I'm trying to get it centered. That's pretty close. And what I'll do is I'll hold the other end here. If I can keep my hands from shaking. Hold on, let me put the X-Acto knife down here. All right, so okay, so I want to get it on there fairly well. And I want to get it on there straight. Like I said, I'm an amateur, so bear with me here. I was just looking past the camera, just trying to see if I got it in the right spot here. It looks pretty good, actually. Okay, so once I got it laid on there, let's go ahead and cut it off here. I only need the inside done so far. I just pulled it off. I am going to cut it back. And this has to be really worked in onto the glass, or it will not stick. We're actually going to cut a 45 on here. We're going to cut it back, cut it right here on the corner. Well, golly gee, isn't this a clown show? This thing will turn out great, though. Can't believe the blade just came out, though. Oh my gosh. So yeah, let's cut that corner off. And it looks like we're pretty good right there. All right. And we'll go down here and do this end. So all I did was just pull it off the corner right there, and it pretty much cut it off by itself. We're going to make sure that we're not, and that's actually cut back some already. See that? Maybe cut it back just a hair more. Yeah. You see how this side's a little light? And you just have to be really good about it. And I am not the best, but you got to make sure that's all in place. If you haven't sanded this out, you can cut your fingers right at this point. All right, so we got this one piece ready. Let's go ahead and put a piece of foil on here. This is the first time I put foil on something in years. Years. Well, I'll tell you what, I wish my hands weren't so dang shaky. I think that's pretty good right there. And I'm holding this really tight, or it'll just go all over the place. And as you can see, Let me back this out so you can see what I'm doing with my fingers. If I can get it to back out here. I'm actually pulling this back with my pinky and stuff and lining, grabbing this foil part with my thumb and forefinger. Now I'm just going to bring it down to the edge. I'm going to hold on to it, just rip it off. Just like so. We're going to rub this in really good. Push the edges down real nice and tight. I mean, you can use anything to rub this out. I mean, you can use anything. But make sure that it is on there. You can see what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and cut this piece off the end here. Alright, as you can see, I got to cut back a little bit off that edge. Because when we put that other piece over the edge this way, it's going to come around, it's going to come down to here. And it'll create a buildup. And that's pretty good. All right. Now we got the two pieces on each side here. You know what? Let me go ahead and do them. I'll be back. All right, you guys, check this out. I had to come up with a jig to hold my glass down. I don't have any board to do it. I used to use a piece of ceiling tile along with this rubber here and just put nails into it to hold it in place. Didn't really do the trick, but this does. I don't know if you can see what I'm actually using here. It's a Chinese board game along with, I don't even know what it's called, along with some bolts, and these are actually cable connectors, and holding it down really good. This is actually a piece of paint stir that I cut into wedges. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. All right, you guys, I've already brushed on my flux, just so you see that's what I'm using here. And I'm also using this wire today. All right, I think we should be ready to go here. I haven't done this in quite some time. Get a little more light over here. cord out of the way. I said I haven't done this in a few years, so bear with me. Just keep beating it in. All the way to the end there. All right. I think it looks all right. Let's try this other side. Let's reposition the camera. You look right over those bolt heads. And again, like I said, I'm an amateur. I think I'm done with that. It'll just come right off there. Looks pretty good for an amateur, I suppose. We're going to let that cool down and we'll be back. I'll have it flipped over to the other side. All right, we'll go ahead and put some plugs back on here. And we are ready to go. Now, I can't remember what videos I watched to do this. It's been years though. But there are some good videos out there that will show you beginners if you're wanting to do this. This is just really kind of for my family, whoever I know. All right. Let me get my cord out of the way here. All right. Get this out of the way here. Ooh. All right. And let's go ahead and back it up. As you can see, we're soldered on both sides. So after that cools down, I'm going to put foil all the way around it. and then we can go ahead and cut the blue pieces. So I'll be back. All right, while this cools, I'm going to go ahead and cut my pieces. And I've got my tape already on this one. I don't know how that works out like that. All right. So you got it on there. Let's go ahead and get a good eye on this thing here because I'm just using my hand. Got a little grinding to do off the corner. But yeah, that's perfect. Except for that little grinding off the corner there. Yeah, too short. All right. So yeah, you can see that's just a little off right there. I gotta take that off there. You'll see. Let's go ahead and stick this back over it. And grab the X-Acto knife. It's just a hair right there on the end. We'll go ahead and get it done. And that'd be it. All right, we're good. I'll take a look at it again before we get it all done. Let's go ahead and flip this around and measure for the other piece. All right, you guys, I got it all fluxed and set and ready to go. Let's go ahead and solder it into place. I didn't want to have to move my setup, but I think I'm going to have to. Not turning out too bad for such a long hiatus. All right. I think we got a good bead there. Let's go ahead and let it cool down. And we'll set up for the next round. All right. I got the piece cut. Got it ready to go. Got the flux on it. Get this out of the way here. Go ahead and run this. And I have it flipped over, so we can go ahead and do the other side right now. Got off a little bit there. I'll pull that back into place. You see that? All right, turned out good. I've already got this other, yeah, I do believe I fluxed it. Let me go ahead and do it again. Now I'm going to have to clean this glass. After it's all said and done, you'll see. Just trying to push it back down into place. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that, can you? Let's go ahead and change that up. All right. And there you go. We got that done. All right. Now all I have to do is flip it over and do the other side of this. We can wrap the whole thing up and then do the outside edge. I'll be back. All right, we're set up and ready to go. Let's run this bead here. Oop, get out there. All right. I think we are successful. Now comes the precarious part of putting the foil all the way around the edge. So I'm going to let it cool down and I'll be back doing that. All right, I'll let you guys watch a little bit of this. We'll see how it goes here. You got to handle this delicately. You just put these pieces on. I want to make sure that I get the right amount on each side here. My hands weren't so shaky. I think I got that. Not quite. All right. I think I got it there that time. Now all I'm going to do is pull it out, and it's on a roll here. Pull my paper back. I'm going to roll it right on top of the next piece, making sure that I got it in place, and it's in place. I'm going to rub these edges down as I go. I'll have to rub over them really good when I'm done. Go ahead and pull it out again. Pull backing back. Just try to drop this into place here. And looks good except for that last bit there. No. I think we got it right there. Yeah, I can live with that. And drop in this last side here. And that looks good. I'm just going to go ahead and rip that corner off. And rub all my edges down. You can see that that pulled off there a little bit. So we'll pull this corner back. Drop that back in place. And I'm going to clip that off. Ah. My X-Acto knife was hiding from me. So I'm going to cut this corner just straight off here. I'm going to roll this one up into place. And I'll trim that off also. Okay. I'll rub all these edges down. And I will cut these corners out too. Oh, the blade came out again. Okay, so I'm actually gonna use my X-Acto knife to cut these corners out and make them nice and pretty, but I'm not gonna make you watch me do that. I'll be back. All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and solder this edge all the way around. I've already fluxed this top and the sides, along with a little bit over the edge of both sides. Now, I've never done this with the, we'll see how this goes here. It seems to be going pretty good. All right, I like it. We're gonna let that cool down. And we'll flip it. So yeah, once I'm done, I'll check these edges, and in most cases it fell over the side, so I'm hoping that's what it did. We'll flip it and continue on. Look at that big old drip here. Let me take that off there. And I'll clean it up later on with a smaller tip. Save all your scraps. You haven't quite figured out how to repurpose them, but I have. I use them for, I do different stuff with it. Let's go ahead and flux this edge out real quick. We'll have to clean that glass up once it's all said and done also. it'll leave a residue on there. And if you don't get it off fairly quick, all right, I want to push these edges down a little bit here. Okay, let's see how that works. I didn't like how that sat. All right. Get a little extra wire out here. All right, that looks pretty good. Let that cool down real quick. And it's going along pretty good. I still have to put my paint on there, so I'll have to clean the glass really good. Not a big deal. I'm not perfect. That thing's a little crooked down there. I thought I had it in place good enough, but I guess not. That's all right. It will look good when it's done. All right, let's go ahead and run this next one. All right. Good to go. That looks good too. All right. Cool down. Turning out good. I still have to take this and cut it into a foot, and then we'll solder it to here too. But yeah, we're going to wrap a whole piece there. It'll probably be about that long. We'll wrap the whole thing and solder it out for stability. All right, let's go ahead and turn it. And, oh, can you see that? All right, you guys, I went ahead and put the flux on there. The camera actually stopped. So I'm going to go ahead and do this last one here. Yeah, I like that. All right. All right, if we're going to put a foot on it, that's the best time. All right. Might roll it back over and pull that back into place there. Give this a second to cool off. Yeah, we're just going to smooth out my edge here. Yeah, it's looking good. For the amateur, that's for sure. All right. Let's go ahead and get set up to cut this piece. It'll be cool here in a minute. I got a drop of solder on the backside here. Yeah. So give me a second. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and solder this leg out. I went ahead and set it up. Try not breathing them fumes in. I should have my mask on me. Go ahead and put it on. Didn't even think about it. Been a few years, but so yeah, I got a respirator here, and you should be wearing it. Let me go ahead and bring this end over here. All right. I'll end up going over this whole thing again. Just to clean it up. I've already wiped the glass off with alcohol, rubbing alcohol. To get off any residue. Yeah. Looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and raise this up a little bit. We'll do this last little piece here. All right. And I think we're good to go. Got a little drip right here. Separate it. All right. We'll take it off the vise and we'll see what we got here. Yeah. So let's go ahead and run this edge here. We'll do a little cleanup action. You can see I'm just going along that edge and just trying to cover the copper. Little. All right. I like it. Let that cool for a second. I'm going to hit this back edge real quick. And start coming down this edge. I don't know if you could see how quick they covered that. Oh, I guess it would help if I showed you. All I'm doing is rubbing a little bit over the top of it. And since it's got flux on it, it covers it. All right. I like that. I like that. That all looks good. I'm going to solder that edge right onto there, like so. You'll see that here in a second. It's still a little hot. I'm going to let it cool off. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this in foil. Let me go ahead and clean it with some glass cleaner because it's still got a fog on it to include this one. So I'll be back. All right, you guys. I got 3 sides set up on this backing for the glass where the picture sits. We'll go ahead and solder it out. You know what? I need to flip it around and have the this is the open end. I need to pull it back from there. That way there's not a drip. I still have to pull out some solder at the top. You'll see. All right. Got a little drip there. All right. Oh, tape's coming off there. Well, maybe a little too much heat. That's all right. It went back on there. Once I solder it to the main piece, it'll be off. All right. All right, let's go ahead and flux it. Just remember, you got to clean that residue now. All right. All right. Once I'm done with that, I'm still going to weld that to the other piece. You'll see. I didn't even really need to do this since I'm going to be soldering it. Oh, I almost didn't flux it. You know what? Almost did it again. I need to come back the other way. All right. Let's do this. All right. Now, we're going to stick it directly to this other piece here. Actually, I'm going to set it out the side for a second. And we're going to pull some solder out of one of these joints. And yes, I do believe this is the back side. Let me take another look. That's the front side. I got my fingerprints all over it again. This will be the back side. So let me go ahead and pull some solder out of that joint. I got to take some solder out of that right there, or I'll never get a picture in there. You'll see here in a second. All right. Maybe I can get a little more out of it. I tilt it, huh? All right. Resolder that little piece right there. All right. Now I can scrape that off there. Just comes right off. And then the rest you do the cleanup. But yeah, that's flat now. Exactly what I wanted. I'm sorry, you can't see. This is all flat right now. It doesn't have a weld in it. So we're ready to stick this right over the top. Just like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of stay welds in it. I just push a little bead up to it. That's all I needed just for a second. Actually, push this forward a little bit. I'm actually going to hold down on it. I'm just going to blend this weld in. All right. Oh, you know what? I wasn't far enough over, was I? Okay. That's where I need to be, right there. Yeah, I'll have to add some solder to that. Let's go ahead and solder this whole edge in here. Oop, we gotta keep that out of the way now. All right. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now I have a sponge over here with my soldering iron, and it's wet, and you have to keep this thing clean. All right. I don't know if you can see that gap right there. That'll let me slide a picture right on up in there. Oh, I'm making that look bad, ain't I? Hold on a second here. Let's use a little gravity. All right. Let's start working that stuff down here. Look at that bead, just falls into place. Now, I don't need much to hold that. You can see what I just did, so let's clean it up just a hair down here. I'm just making it worse. Amateur hour. I will be cleaning that up. All right. Glad that's on the backside, huh? Yeah, it scrapes right off. Little cleanup. Little cleanup. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. To include, look at that. I can slide a picture right down in there. Oh, I got a little work to do on the front side. Had a little too much heat on it. Let's go ahead and clean that up. Might as well just run down the whole field. Smooth it all out and drag some out that edge there. All right. Now we're ready to put that back end on there. I mean the foot. What am I saying? Let's get set up here. So that's the back side. You can see where we're going to slide the picture in. I'm going to take one of my boxes, set it there. Put another one right here. Go ahead and pull the camera up a little bit so you can see what's going on here. We're going to take the foot and we're going to let it drop right into there, just like so. And I got a few beads of solder that I got just sitting here, and we're going to set them on top. Let me go ahead and set this up against there to hold it in place. Let's see here. Can you guys see that? Let's see if I can zoom in on it. So yeah, it's just some scrap laying around here. All we're going to do is heat it up, and I guess I could hold it in place here. Nice, good bead. Just like so. And in no time, it will be done. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. Get the scrap into the scrap section. That's not coming off there anymore. Still got to clean up the glass. Yeah, it's pretty much done. You know, the only thing is I don't have a picture handy. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and move that because we don't need that anymore. As you can see, it sits up by itself. Move my little handy dandy holder out of the way. Yeah. Nice. Nice. I'll be back. All right. I got her done. Needs to be wiped off a little bit more, but I found me a picture to put in there. As you can see, I got these bubbles down here on the, or around the corners. I'm not going to put them on this one. I think it looks good just like it is, but I will do some more like that. But I wanted to show you something. Since I got this one, this foot down further, I didn't have a problem with it standing up without having an extra piece of foot down here. But it wouldn't do it for this one. So I had to put in a little brace down there. Not a big deal, though. It turned out great. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It just goes to show you that, I mean, you guys can put out almost anything. This one did take a little bit of tool work, a little bit of extra tools, but most everything can be done with sandpaper. I mean, if you don't have something that's good, I mean, you can use cheap, or we'll just say inexpensive tools. I mean, this one's probably about 30 years old. Who knows? Probably not. Probably 20. But yeah, they're old. Those are old tools. I do have a new one, but I'm not using it. I just use the old stuff. Okay. So with that, I'm going to end the video. If you can, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys all have a great day.